Adam, you mentioned that being a Muslim is divided into four categories: the five unseen beliefs, acts of worship, doing good deeds, avoiding bad deeds. Can you explain the first category in detail, the five unseen beliefs we need to have? I remember them as belief in Allah as the one and only God, belief in the angels, belief in the holy books like the Quran and the Bible, belief in God's prophets, including Prophet Muhammad, belief in the Day of Judgment. Is that correct?
Yes, Omar, that's right. The first and most important belief is Tawheed, or belief in Allah as the one and only God. In Islam, Tawheed refers to the oneness and uniqueness of Allah, as emphasized in the Quran. Here are some verses that explain this concept. Say, He is Allah, who is one, Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verses 1-4. This brief but profound surah emphasizes the oneness and uniqueness of Allah, rejecting any notion of partnership or comparison to Him. And in another verse, and your God is one God. There is no deity worthy of worship except Him, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 163. This verse emphasizes the oneness of Allah and His exclusive right to be worshipped, highlighting His attributes of mercy.
So when the Quran says there is no deity except Him, it means that no other God or divine being is worthy of worship except Allah, right?
Exactly, Omar. Worshipping Allah alone means worshipping Allah as the only God, praying only to Allah, fearing Allah above anyone else, recognizing that only Allah decides what is allowed and what is not, understanding there are no intermediaries between you and Allah, never treating anyone or anything as equal to Allah. Let me give you the Quran verses for each of these points. First, worshipping Allah alone. Say, I am only a human like you, to whom has been revealed that your God is one God. So whoever hopes for the meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous work and not associate in the worship of his Lord anyone. Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, verse 110. This verse emphasizes the humanity of the Prophet Muhammad and the core message of monotheism, calling on believers to do righteous deeds and avoid associating partners with Allah in worship. Second, praying only to Allah. And whoever invokes besides Allah another deity for which he has no proof, then his account is only with his Lord. Indeed, the disbelievers will not succeed. Surah Al-Mu'minun, chapter 23, verse 117. This verse emphasizes the importance of monotheism and warns against invoking or worshiping other deities without any evidence, stating that such acts lead to failure and loss. Third, fearing Allah above anyone else. Those who convey the messages of Allah and fear Him, and do not fear anyone but Allah, and sufficient is Allah as accountant. Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 39. This verse praises those who faithfully deliver Allah's message, emphasizing that their fear should only be directed toward Allah, not toward any worldly powers. It also highlights that Allah alone is enough to hold everyone accountable. Fourth, recognizing that only Allah decides what is allowed. And do not say about what your tongues assert of untruth, this is lawful and this is unlawful, to invent falsehood about Allah. Indeed, those who invent falsehood about Allah will not succeed. Surah An-Nahl, chapter 16, verse 116. This verse warns against making false claims about what is lawful or unlawful in religion, especially without divine proof, and cautions that those who invent lies about Allah will not find success. Fifth, no intermediaries between you and Allah, and warn by it those who fear that they will be gathered before their Lord. For them besides Him will be no protector and no intercessor, that they might become righteous. Surah Al-An'am, chapter 6, verse 51. This verse urges the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, to use the Quran to warn those who are conscious of the Day of Judgment, reminding them that no one will have any protector or intercessor except Allah, so they should strive to be righteous. Sixth, not treating anyone or anything as equal to Allah. He who made for you the earth a bed, spread out, and the sky a canopy, and sent down from the sky rain, and brought forth thereby fruits as provision for you. So do not attribute to Allah equals while you know that there is nothing similar to him. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 22. This verse reminds people of Allah's creation of the earth and the sky and his provision of rain and sustenance. It warns against associating partners with Allah, especially when people know that no one is like him.
Thanks for explaining, Adam. It's clear now. We worship Allah as the one and only God, and we base our understanding of what's allowed and what's not on his words alone.
Exactly, Omar. And when you truly believe in Allah as the one and only God, it naturally leads you to worship him, seek guidance from him alone, and live by his commands.
Can you tell me about the other 4 unseen beliefs we have to hold as Muslims?
I'll share the Quranic verses for each of them. It's normal to find it harder to believe in things we can't see, like angels. Allah knows this because he created us, but he expects us to trust his word in the Quran. Believing in Allah is easier because of the many signs of his existence. But for things like angels, we believe because we trust Allah's words.
Yes, that makes sense.
Now let me share some verses about the remaining 4 beliefs. O you who have believed, believe in Allah and his messenger, and the book that he sent down upon his messenger, and the scripture which he sent down before. And whoever disbelieves in Allah, his angels, his books, his messengers, and the last day has certainly gone far astray. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 136. This verse calls on believers to maintain firm faith in Allah, his messenger, the Quran, and the scriptures revealed before, emphasizing that disbelief in these core elements leads one astray from the right path. And in another verse, race towards forgiveness from your Lord, and a garden whose width is like the width of the heavens and earth, prepared for those who believed in Allah and his messengers. Surah Al-Hadid, chapter 57, verse 21. This verse encourages believers to strive for Allah's forgiveness and the vast rewards of paradise, which is prepared for those who have faith in Allah and his messengers. It reminds us that Allah's blessings are immense and given to whomever he wills. Lastly, but indeed, those who do not believe in the hereafter are deviating from the path. Surah Al-Mu'minun, chapter 23, verse 74. This verse highlights that those who deny or disbelieve in the hereafter are straying away from the true path, emphasizing the importance of belief in the afterlife as a core part of faith. There are many more verses about these 5 unseen beliefs, but I encourage you to discover them on your own as you read the Quran. When you believe in these unseen things and don't deny them, Allah will guide and help you.
Thank you, Adam. I'll keep reading the Quran and pray to Allah for guidance and understanding.
That's great, Omar. From my experience, the more you read the Quran, the more you'll understand, and the more Allah will enlighten you.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed discovering the real Islam and found the information helpful.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can continue learning more about Islam directly from the Quran.